Alright guys, welcome to today's video. Tritten back here. Today we're going to be taking a look at this hunk of junk. This is the PlayStation Portal, and as you can see right there, I kind of already opened it to sort of live with it for a few days. And well, today we're going to be going over my general thoughts and first impressions of this device. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take this off. So I already got it out of the sleeve, so I didn't tear the box, just because that's what happened in my PS5 unboxing video, because I'm a fucking idiot. But let's get this piece of crap out of here, and here in a minute you'll figure out why I say that. I don't have any help today, so I'm gonna set my little tripod up, and hopefully it catches what I want it to catch. I'll just hold it up to the camera for you. Can't fucking. There we go. Alright, so in the box you get the device itself in this foam wrap. And then in here you get a C2C cable, but I'm not taking it out because I've got 1,000 of those laying around the house. So let's go ahead and do the whole peel thing. And I've actually got a microphone this time, so maybe you'll be able to hear it this time. I don't know if that picked up or not, but now we're going to get the device turned on. And I kind of already did set this up, so don't talk shit. I'm a father of 5 and I've got a cranky wife, so we're just gonna pretend I magically got this set up all at one time, like just before the video or whatever. Fuck you. Okay, it's booting up now. Loading. And magically cut to being fully on. So, press your PlayStation button. You're going to be into the home screen here. It's going to give you a couple of options to do. It's going to let you pair to your current PS5, which I've noticed doesn't really work for me when I'm not connected to the same network. But how did Sony address that? By giving you two options for what you can stream. You got your current collection that is supported by cloud streaming, or you have this list of games right here. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure some of these games are excellent, but personally, I would rather have my entire library present, because if I'm going to be streaming anything, I'm going to be streaming stuff like Modern Warfare 2, the remastered version anyway, Red Dead Redemption 2, and when it eventually comes out, GTA 6. But like I said, don't get me wrong, we got some great games on here, such as Spider-Man 1 and 2 and Miles Morales. You've got Red Dead Redemption 1 on there. You got some older Star Wars games on there. Got some Tomb Raider. So yeah, it really just depends on your preference for gaming. Uh, I know everybody's going to be different. So let's move on to the next segment where I tell you what I actually think of this thing. All right, so first impressions for this thing right here. It's cool for what it is currently. Do I wish some things were different? Yeah, I do. Now, it's great that it's not just uh, remote play anymore from like by connecting to your PlayStation, but then you run into the other issue of always having to be online, always having to have a stable internet connection, and having to have relatively fast speeds, which, yeah, it's not as expensive as it once was. But personally, I had to shop around for a better internet provider to get this to run properly. And that necessarily has not happened yet. Um, like, I'll boot up a game that I have been playing on here in a minute and let you see what I'm talking about. Keep in mind, I am maybe, it's a hard maybe. So here's my modem here. Here's where I'm recording. That's not a very far distance from the modem at all. So let's get down to business. If I can figure out a good way to get an overhead shot without messing this up too bad. All right. So this is gonna be the best I can do right now. I don't have anyone helping my camera. So like, let's load up GTA for example. You can see it takes a little bit to load. I'll cut back once it finally does. There we go. Okay. We are now loaded into the game. But as you can see, I am immediately running into some errors, especially on the graphical side. So, for now, let's just jump into the story mode. Something that should not be too complicated for this thing to stream. As you see, I'm losing the frame rate quite quickly. Let's get into a shootout because that's honestly the only thing you do in GTA after you beat it 8 times. Shit. Okay. I'm trying to get this into frame for you guys. I don't have any help. So, like, let's just see if we can steal some cash from the gun store owner. Yeah, I managed to take him on. But last time I did this, it froze to the point to where I got killed by that fucking dog right there. Now let's just run out there and die so we can move on to the final thoughts of this. Okay, so I've died. Let's finish out this video. So I guess the question is now, what are my final thoughts on this device? It's okay for what it is. If you have a solid internet connection, that fiber gigabit bullshit, and you have that connection consistently and reliably, then yes, you should absolutely get this, especially if you got kids who are hogging the TV. Just connect to your PlayStation and play your Call of Duty or your PUBG or whatever the hell you play these days. But for someone who has just an average internet connection or are trying to find something for on the go usage through a hotspot or whatever, I cannot recommend this device, honestly. And now, I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm not trying to bash on this thing because this thing does pretty well in the right conditions. Like, it does what it's designed to do pretty well in those conditions only. Now, something to keep in mind, they had every opportunity to just make this portion just a little bit bigger. Now, I know it would have added some weight and made it as heavy as the rest of the handhelds on the market, but it's a huge but on this. Take the ROG Ally, for example. That thing is more powerful than the PS4, right? If you look at all the specs, it hands down is capable of more. Now, most of the games that you'd be streaming on there, like on the portal, were released on the PS4 anyway. So, excuse me. I guess my biggest question is, why didn't you make a more compact version of the PS4 hardware, which with just minor upgrades to not make it as slow and make it to where you can download games so you're playing it natively? Essentially, make this fatter, about out to here. Keep the same controllers because the controllers are great, with the one exception of like when you're on the screen for like Call of Duty or whatever when you're doing remote play. Touching these two areas right here is supposed to be your motion pad or that white sensor in the middle of the controller. You know what I mean? It's supposed to replicate that. It does nothing on here. So um, I'm sure games can be adapted for that. But come on, Sony. Just do better. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this for now. Okay, real quick. The last clip I recorded for this video, I had to redo because my microphone wasn't on. So, long story short, I ended up returning the portal, as you saw in that little picture of it on the customer service counter. If you have good, stable internet connection, by all means, if you don't have a portal yet, go get one. It's great for if you have that. But if you're like me and have just basic internet, it's not for you. Don't get it.